Hey there, it's Apurv, and I would like to welcome you all to our second video of the Earth Day series. This video series will delve deeply into the Earth Day theme for this year, ensuring you are well informed. Remember to subscribe to stay updated. We'll be delving into intriguing subjects concerning environmental concerns and sustainable practices. Earth Day 2024 also advocates for an effective UN treaty on plastic pollution. We recognize that regulatory policies can profoundly influence society, which brings us to today's topic, ending plastic pollution towards an internationally legally binding instrument. UN Resolution on Plastic Pollution. The United Nations Environment Assembly adopted a resolution on 2nd March 2022 in Nairobi, Kenya. The UN Resolution on Ending Plastic Pollution outlines a comprehensive approach to addressing the global issue of plastic pollution, particularly in marine environments. Let's highlight and elaborate on key points mentioned in the resolution and how they contribute to environmental conservation. First, Intergovernmental Negotiating Committee. The resolution calls for establishing an intergovernmental negotiating committee to develop an international, legally binding instrument on plastic pollution. This committee will facilitate global cooperation and coordination to tackle plastic pollution effectively. By bringing together representatives from various countries, this initiative promotes international collaboration essential for addressing a problem transcending national borders. Second, sustainable production and consumption. The resolution emphasizes promoting sustainable production and consumption of plastics through product design and environmentally sound waste management. By encouraging the adoption of circular economy approaches which prioritize reuse, remanufacturing, and recycling, the resolution aims to minimize the generation of plastic waste and reduce its natural impact. This shift towards environmental practices is crucial for conserving natural resources and reducing pollution. Third, national action plans. It calls for developing and implementing national action plans to prevent, reduce, and eliminate plastic pollution. These plans will be tailored to each country's specific circumstances and will contribute to global efforts by addressing plastic pollution at the local level. By empowering individual nations to take targeted actions, the resolution fosters a bottom-up approach to environmental conservation. Fourth, cooperation with stakeholders. The resolution stresses the importance of involving all stakeholders, including governments, international organizations, non-governmental organizations, and the private sector, in addressing plastic pollution. Collaboration with diverse stakeholders enhances the effectiveness of conservation efforts by leveraging expertise, resources, and innovative solutions from various sectors. This inclusive approach fosters synergies and promotes shared responsibility for environmental stewardship. Fifth, capacity building and technical assistance. Recognizing that some countries may require assistance to fulfill their obligations under the instrument, the resolution calls for capacity building, technical assistance, and financial support. By providing resources and expertise to developing countries and countries with economies in transition, the resolution ensures that all nations can actively participate in and benefit from global efforts to combat plastic pollution. This support facilitates the implementation of sustainable practices and strengthens environmental governance worldwide. Sixth, monitoring and assessment. The resolution emphasizes the importance of periodic assessment of their instruments' implementation and effectiveness. By monitoring progress and evaluating outcomes, policymakers can identify successes, challenges, and areas for improvement, allowing for evidence-based decision-making and continuous refinement of strategies. This iterative process ensures accountability and enhances the likelihood of achieving meaningful results in environmental conservation. Either way, discussions regarding the plastic pollution prevention resolution have been ongoing since then, and the round of negotiations is currently taking place in Ottawa, Canada. The session is scheduled from April 23 to April 29. You can click the link in the video description to learn more about this. Shortcomings and scope of improvement. While the UN resolution on ending plastic pollution represents a significant step towards addressing a pressing global issue, it also has several potential shortcomings that may hinder its effectiveness. Here are some key areas where the resolution could fall short. This lack of binding commitments. One of the primary shortcomings of the resolution is the absence of binding commitments for member states. While the resolution calls for developing an international legally binding instrument, it also includes provisions for voluntary approaches. Without mandatory requirements for reducing plastic pollution, there is a risk that some countries may not fully engage or comply with the agreed upon measures. This lack of enforceability could undermine the resolution's effectiveness in achieving its objectives. Second, limited scope. Although the resolution acknowledges the importance of addressing plastic pollution in marine and other environments, its scope may need to be narrower. Plastic pollution extends beyond just marine ecosystems and affects terrestrial environments as well. Focusing solely on marine pollution may neglect the broader impact of plastic waste on land-based ecosystems, wildlife, and human health. A more comprehensive approach that considers all environments affected by plastic pollution would be more effective in mitigating its adverse effects. Third, weak implementation mechanisms. While the resolution outlines various objectives and provisions for addressing plastic pollution, it needs precise mechanisms for implementation and enforcement. With robust monitoring, reporting, and accountability frameworks, tracking progress and ensuring compliance with the agreed upon measures may be more accessible. Additionally, the resolution needs to specify how resources will be allocated to support implementation efforts, leaving room for ambiguity and potential inequities in funding distribution. Fourth, limited engagement of stakeholders. While the resolution acknowledges the importance of stakeholder engagement, particularly concerning cooperation with the private sector and non-governmental organizations, it does not provide detailed guidance on effectively involving these actors in the implementation process. With meaningful participation from all relevant stakeholders, including industry representatives, local communities, and civil society organizations, the resolution may be able to mobilize the collective action needed to address plastic pollution comprehensively. Fifth, insufficient emphasis on prevention. While the resolution includes provisions for promoting sustainable production and consumption of plastics, it may need to place more emphasis on prevention strategies. While recycling and waste management are essential components of addressing plastic pollution, preventing plastic waste from entering the environment in the first place is essential. A stronger focus on reducing plastic pollution, promoting alternatives to single-use plastic, and implementing policies to minimize plastic packaging would be necessary to tackle the root causes of plastic pollution effectively. Sixth, limited financial and technical assistance. While the resolution acknowledges the need for capacity building, technical assistance, and financial support for developing countries, it does not provide concrete commitments or mechanisms for delivering these resources. With adequate support, particularly for countries with limited resources and infrastructure, implementing the provisions of the Constitution may be more manageable. Ensuring equitable access to funding and technical expertise will enable all countries to effectively participate in and benefit from global efforts to address plastic pollution. Conclusion. While the UN resolution on ending plastic pollution represents a significant step forward in addressing a critical environmental issue, it also has several potential shortcomings that may hinder its effectiveness. Addressing these shortcomings will require ongoing efforts to strengthen implementation mechanisms, broaden the scope of action, enhance stakeholder engagement, and ensure equitable access to resources. Only through concerted and coordinated action at the global, national, and local levels can we effectively tackle the complex challenge of plastic pollution and safeguard the health of our planet for future generations. Let's unite in our efforts to champion sustainability. Collectively, we hold the power to enact meaningful change for our Earth. If you found this video enlightening, please show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing for future updates. Until we meet again, let's commit to practicing sustainability in all aspects of our lives. Thank you for tuning in.